Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Greg, your co-host of the Grilling to Get Away podcast. Here's my buddy,
What's that, everyone? This is Ben.
Ben. Welcome back.
Thanks, man.
Change up the studio a little bit.
Yeah, we're back in the back room.
The back room.
Yep.
Where all the magic happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
All the rub magic.
Oh, okay. If you say so, man. Yeah, it's we're back. We got the orange wall.
Mm-hmm.
This is where it all started.
Change it up a little bit. Just doing some remodeling in the basement, so figure we head back into the regular studio.
It's a good thing I'm so flexible with all
I
the
know,
changes,
yeah. I was like,
yeah.
wow.
You move me here, you put me there. Just
Yeah, you are very flexible. Thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah.
just here to help you, man.
I know. I appreciate that. It's I need that sometimes. I need some reinforcement and some flexibility.
Don't I know it?
Yeah. Who would have thought? Two guys in the basement just starting a business and a podcast, and so here we are.
Here we are.
Man, we're coming up on like episode 180.
Is it really that many?
Yeah. Yep.
Wow. Crushing it,
man. Yeah.
Way to go.
Appreciate our tens and tens of listeners tuning in every week.
Idea.
No, man, I was looking at the stats I get like email stats that come up to, that they send to us every week. And I was like, man, we had like over 100 more listeners last week. I was like, what's happening? Like, man, maybe it's starting to pay off here. Who knows?
Good. Well, we appreciate all of you being
all the downloads. We're getting close to 20,000 downloads.
Ooh. Appreciate you all joining us.
Yeah,
it's good
man,
to have
thanks. You. Yeah, it's just we don't do this for the accolades, obviously, even though we are one of the top 100 blogs. As mentioned, as what was that blog spot? I think we were number 40 something.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're
climbing our way to the top.
Our buddies
climbing or crawling. Greg?
Yeah, I don't know. 5 years in, let's see. It's a steady climb.
It's a marathon, not a sprint. Greg.
It is.
So,
it is. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good time, and we appreciate people listening, tuning in, and then going to the blog and seeing the recipes and tips we put out there each week. Man, I was looking at some of the like. Going back to like our first ones in 2020, man.
It's changed. It's changed a lot
bit,
along the way. We're drinking coffees now instead of
having beers and stuff.
Yeah, cranking out beers. That was those were fun days.
Yeah, it's for personal reasons decided to take a little break, but man, with weather like this, it's hard not to. Want to put a little whiskey in the coffee. It's raining again, cold again.
That's why I got mine covered.
Yeah, I know. You like Kahlua.
A little bit of Grandpa's cough syrup.
Yeah. Irish cream.
Bailey's.
Yeah. But yeah, man. So, hopefully the weather turns here. We're coming up on Memorial Day weekend.
We are, yeah.
And it looks like it might be dry. It might be a little cooler, but still, man, it should be a good time to get out. You got any plans for the weekend?
Man, my daughter's playing up in like Appleton area. She got a tournament, Greg.
Yeah,
so
I can't catch a break.
Saturday, Sunday, and Monday games.
3 days.
3 days.
Is it like one game a day?
It's like two. It's like two, but like I think there's one Saturday, 2 Sunday, and then like 2 on Monday.
Yeah.
So we'll be we'll be out there all weekend.
Mm.
So it's cool. It's cool because I missed quite a bit when I was gone.
Mm-hmm.
So now I get to come back and jump right back into it and stuff, and so it's fine. Like I'm not gonna complain about it because I'm excited to go watch her and make sure impart wisdom.
Keep calm on the sidelines.
Run the earlobes, just relax. It's fine.
Stand in the corner.
Yeah.
Away from the people.
Yeah, it's like to get kind of to like a certain spot, and then I notice like people start to kind of gather. I'm like, God dang it, I need to move down. Down further. Like
that's how I am, man. Like I had football, I stand in the end zone.
Yeah.
Like I don't sit in the bleachers. It's hard. And then like Crosby's playing baseball, so like I stand down the sideline. Like it's hard for me to be near like the crowd. Just I like to watch and just like take it all.
Just take it in, man. Yeah.
Because you can see stuff too, like when you're standing off, not right behind plate, like the home plate or whatever.
Sure.
You can see stuff, impart that wisdom, as you say, and see the game from a different angle.
Yeah. So I enjoy it, but I definitely kind of move down towards the end, like you're talking about.
I get it.
That's why we get along so well.
Yeah, I'm sure. There's Greg and Ben standing in the corner by themselves. Yeah.
They don't have to talk to each other most of the time. We just gotta hang out and just there,
just be there.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to just kind of getting to watch her play a bit. But what about you? You pulling out the breaking out all 8 of the grills and just having them all
we'll see,
all
man. I'm looking forward to having some time. It's gonna be we got like a busy kind of I took last year off to go up by my mom's, because I usually speak on Memorial Day.
Sure. Are you speaking this year?
I am, yeah. I'm speaking this
year. Back at it,
yeah.
Let me know if you need me to read through your speech.
Yeah, I got it. I've been practicing, be better.
Do you stand in front of the mirror?
I don't stand in front of the mirror, but I do stand up when I practice just to make sure, I got to get in the mode of it, So I'll be going back out to East Troy. I must have did okay a few years ago because they invited me back out.
Well, the other people that they had all canceled out.
No, this has been a year in the works, man. So I said, he asked me again last year, and I said no. I was like, I need to take a break. And then he's like, well, can I get you on the following year? So I said, okay, yeah, I'll put you down. So
I have a question, man. Is it? Are you doing the same speech?
It's not the same speech, man.
Man, why? Just
I know it's
not the same crowd. I remember, what was it, dude? A few years ago, we went to we went to, you had your speech in the morning and stuff.
Yeah.
But that wasn't in East Troy. That was up in Milwaukee area.
That was Wauwatosa.
Yep, up in Tosa. And then from there,
we went to the brewery.
We went to a Brewers game afterwards, and we tailgated.
We sure did.
That was a good time.
That
was Memorial Day.
Yeah, that was Memorial Day. Yeah, and then
those.
We took the younger boys, I thought, and then or maybe we took all the kids, but
I think we had them all.
Yeah, and then,
I think we had them all that day.
Yeah, and then there was that one family that had the
sauce toss.
Yeah,
man. Yeah. We got one shortly after that. We still have it.
You still have it?
Still do. Heck yeah, I pull that out. That's a staple at our house during the summer. And I just lace Cal in that thing. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I'll be speaking out in East Troy. I'll probably get the grill out here too. So it looks like it's gonna at least be, not raining for once here locally. So I'll be able to get out and get some grilling in too. But that Friday before, I'll be headed out to Pewaukee. There's a nonprofit called Next 18 that provides like golf memberships and golf lessons to veterans, and they're doing their annual fundraiser. So we're gonna have a table out there just to support them. That's on that Friday, or this coming Friday.
You got the date on that, Greg, if we want to put that out?
Oh yeah, it's what it's this Friday,
the 23rd.
Yeah, so it's the 23rd of May. So this will come out just before that. So that'll be out in Pewaukee. But if you want to check out them, it's called Next 18. It's a local Wisconsin nonprofit. I mean, they're nationwide as well, but they're based here in Wisconsin. So good organization. They do a lot of great stuff here locally for vets. So we're happy to be out there and support them. But then I'll do that, and then.
Are you taking advantage of any free golf lessons?
We'll see when we get out there.
Sure.
I'm not one to take free stuff. You know that, Ben.
You're not taking it unless it's free. That's what I've seen.
We'll see what's going. Just gonna be out there, spreading the word about what we do here, and then support them as well. So that's great. And then Memorial Day, I'll be out in East Troy. So if you're gonna be in the area, I'll be speaking. I think the Memorial Day service, like they do a parade, it kicks off at like 10:30, and then the actual service itself starts at like 11 in like the town square part. It's a real nice. They do a real nice. It's like a whole day thing. They got tents and they got vendors. So. It should be a good time out there if you get a chance. That's East Troy, Wisconsin, Memorial Day, 11 a.m. here in Wisconsin. So that's what I'm doing.
That's not bad, man. Sounds like a solid day.
Yeah, it's get out there, do the thing, and then come back and kind of relax a little bit. Maybe have a cigar.
That's not bad. And then fire up the grill. And do you have any plans? Like, do you know what you're gonna pull out?
So I've been going through the freezer. It's getting kind of bare.
Okay, we'll talk after.
Yeah,
this,
we have to maybe put a reorder in for some beef.
Yeah, my wife just did something. She pulled out like some ground beef the other day too, and I went down and looked, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
You got to tell me when we get down below like 10.
Yeah, we got to make a marker line.
Yeah.
Like if it gets below this line, danger, danger. We got to put, because it takes a little bit of time to get that meat in.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was going through it the other day. I got some beef roasts in there, some like blade roasts, some chuck roasts.
You still got some choices.
Yeah, so I got some stew meat I found in there. Running out of steak, but then and running out of ground beef too, because we've been crushing burgers and tacos almost weekly.
Yeah.
So we're getting kind of low there, but yeah, I'll think of something. We'll see what's out there. Prices are starting to come down a little bit on some of that stuff. So usually when you get closer to the day, there's some deals going on. So we'll see what's out there.
That's a good point, Greg. I'm glad you brought that up. So for Memorial Day, obviously, this is a lot of people say it's the kickoff to grilling season, right? So
yeah, you could say that.
There's my brother-in-law texted me just this past week, asking me about the grill that he's been looking at and stuff, and asked me if I knew about it or thought about it, or So I took a look and stuff, and he was checking out, I think at like Lowe's or something, and it's like, well, man, if you maybe hold on a couple of days, you might be able to get a deal on it. Like, he's like, that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, so, I know you go support like those local, but I know Amazon's gonna be running some deals. Like I get alerts on that kind of stuff, like the grilling stuff, just because I'm interested to see what's out there and like how other companies are doing like their deals and stuff like that. So right now, like Traeger obviously is big. Like if you're looking at Traeger's, like
I'm sure Pit Boss will have something.
Pit Boss, any type
Weber,
of grill.
Yeah. I got an email today about Weber.
Yeah, go just sign up for their newsletters if you're looking at something, because you might find a good deal. Also, like Amazon, sign up for like alerts and stuff like that, because we're getting up to that time where it's going to be like crazy. Like Traeger Days is coming up, I think this weekend maybe, or was it last week? Yeah, it's coming up soon. But yeah, it's the official kickoff to summer or whatever like that. So there'll be some deals out there, so look out there and maybe be a little bit patient just to see it and look around if you're looking to save some money.
Yeah, usually charcoal's on sale too, man.
Yeah, man. Like I remember when we first started, dude, and we talked about this a lot. Like you could find like those big 18-pound
doubles,
the Kings, for like $9, And now like with shrinkflation, everything's smaller. Even the charcoal briquettes are smaller, man. I feel they used to have those deals all the time, but now you can't find them. That's why we say Walmart, again, set your alerts for Walmart so you get the B&B deals when they got going on.
Heck yeah. Yeah, man, I was looking just like recently and stuff, and like, it's starting to get low again.
Yeah, me too. I got I'm down to my last bag.
Ooh.
My dad did pick some up. There's the Good Charcoal brand. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
So they do lump charcoal, and they had like bags for like $7. So he picked me up a couple.
There you go.
So I got a bag and a half of that, and I still got a half a bag of that Kingsford that we got from our friends over at Rosman's. Yeah, True Value. So need to reach out to them. I haven't talked to them in a while. See what's going on, but I know they've been a little slow. That brings me, like, I know a lot of places have been slow, just based off the economy, maybe the weather, the sentiment. I don't know. It's just, here's a call to action to go support your local small businesses, just because times are tough. Restaurants, bars, barbecue shops. We've seen other sauce and rub companies going under, closing shop. So it's a difficult time out there for a lot of folks. I mean, we try to position ourselves well and weather that kind of stuff. So I think we're in a good position, but other ones not so much. So go out and support them if you get a chance. And support us too, sure.
There's the plug.
There you go. Yeah.
Well done, Greg. Well done.
While I'm saying that, I might as well just say,
hold on.
Well, we appreciate your support too.
We do.
We do. It's been, coming up on 5 years, Ben.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can believe that, man.
No, just one day at a time. Just two jokers in the basement, just trying to make it work.
Yeah, man. I mean,
and we couldn't. Yeah, we wouldn't be here with the people listening and supporting us. So. We appreciate that. Well, let's talk barbecue, man. Let's talk a little bit. I had a chance to be on the Hour of the Wolf podcast on Sunday night. They were doing like their kickoff to grilling like season as well. Like it's a podcast. They talk about everything. I think they had some like different types of topics. This just happened to be grilling and barbecue, and they invited me on, and they invited another gentleman on, Neil from I think it was Delta Q down in Arkansas. And so
Arkansas,
yeah, man, the backwoods country there, Arkansas barbecue. So, and they have people. It was a live stream, so they had people come on asking questions and stuff like that. So some of the questions that I got, I know we talked about. I wanted to just let you know, like some of the questions we got from the folks there, I think would be good topics for the podcast here. So I'm hoping to get that audio so I can just throw it out there so people can listen, because there's a lot of good conversations in there between Neil, myself, and then the host, and then a lot of good questions. But some of the questions that I got, Ben, were great for beginners, I think. And I think one of the first ones was like, we might have talked about this before, but I think it's always good to kind of reiterate it or go back and talk about it a little bit more. Do you put a binder on your meat? Yes or no?
I guess it depends, man. It depends on my mood, I guess. I'll be honest, like not always.
Yeah.
Not always. We have talked about this. I've used. It kind of depends, like what I'm cooking, and like the flavor profile I want. Like, I mean, obviously you have mustard, right? Like it's a classic. There have been times too where I've used like horseradish.
Yeah.
Just get more of like just like that touch of like a bite to it.
Hot sauce.
We've done hot sauces a lot. I've also gone like with that sweeter profile and gone like maple syrup, like a honey as well. So yeah, dude, like it just kind of depends. Like I would say, but like,
is there like do you feel like there's an advantage or a right or wrong way for a binder?
I feel like there's, dude, I don't know, man.
Do you think it's needed?
I don't think it's needed.
Okay.
I would say no, like absolutely not. Like, I mean, you can keep it as basic and simple as you want to.
Yeah.
Like literally just use pepper. I've done that before and have been happy with it, right?
Yeah.
But again, it just kind of depends, like who I'm cooking for. Like if I'm cooking for myself, I'm just keep it like super simple and stuff.
Yeah.
Dude, honestly, like if I had nothing else, I could probably just roll with pepper.
Yeah, man. Like it's salt, pepper, like a good rub that you have.
Just simple too.
I started, man, because like I mentioned like when we were talking through it, like I mentioned like. I always used to use a binder because every single recipe I saw said use like yellow mustard as a binder. Yeah. So like that's what I did.
Sure.
Right?
That's fair.
And then like I started, as you go through and you get more experience, you kind of start trying things and you kind of start researching things. Like, does like a binder really make that much of a difference? I mean, with a yellow mustard binder, the thought process there is maybe some of the vinegar and the mustard helps to break down and tenderize the meat. I don't know if I'm leaving it on that long before I put it on the smoker for it to break it down that much. And then also
like how long you put that binder on for too. Like we were doing like 2 hours before, right? Like,
right. And then also it helps the rub stick better. But at the same time, I don't think so. Like I think the rub sticks to the meat regardless, because a lot of the recipes you call like you pat down the meat and then you put your binder on, and like it doesn't make sense to me, I guess. So so I've started doing it like without it. There are sometimes I might try the hot sauce just to try it out. Like sometimes I'm like, hey, let's see what's in the fridge. Oh, let's try this out.
What do we got?
I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
I know some people do like Worcestershire sauce as a binder. I don't go too heavy on that. I know there was a big push like a year or two ago about a lot of people using like mayonnaise on like their.
I remember that. Yeah,
their ribs, and then like
trying like the chicken too.
Yeah, the chicken. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I never did that.
I never did that either. That was
you did it one time.
Did I try that?
We tried it one time.
That was too much, I think. It was just like,
well, and that kind of tells you. I mean, that's. I remember you did it on like chicken breast, and that was it. It was just like, all right, well, we did it. We talked about it on the podcast.
I think we did, yeah.
And that was like, all right, well, that's not really. I don't know, man. I'm not a huge mayonnaise guy.
Like we were seeing it everywhere, so but now I haven't seen it anywhere in like the past year. So that must have kind of fizzled out, like one of those like I don't know TikTok trends or whatever. I don't know.
Like I said, dude, the closest I got to it was like trying like horseradish on it.
Yeah. But I will say, like the best beef ribs I ever did was when I put that hot sauce on it. Like I put our garlic habanero hot sauce on it, and I just did heavy pepper and salt. I kept it really simple that way, and like you get a little bit of spice from that, but like not enough to make you like burn your mouth or anything, and you get the awesome garlic habanero flavor. That was one of the best ones I've ever done. Like I recommend trying. Like if you like hot sauce and you want to try something different. Yeah, you'll pick up the flavor, I think, not as much of the heat. I guess it depends on how much you use, but
like kind of the level of the heat from the hot sauce.
Yeah, so that was like our hot sauces are kind of mildest on the milder side. So, but great flavor, definitely worth trying out if you're like a hothead where you like a lot of the spicy stuff. Man, use it as a binder, try it out, because the hot sauces have vinegar in it too, so it kind of mimics, I guess you could say, like a mustard. But like with a mustard, you're not getting the flavor.
Not like that. But no, I'm with you, man. Like, I like using the hot sauce as a binder once in a while. Just something different. But But I'm not just like slathering it up either.
Right.
You know, I think it's like you kind of have to be careful on how much you use.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm definitely not going through like a bottle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm just kind of getting it on there, rubbing it around and stuff, and then I'm putting my rub on.
Yeah.
They're seasoning it.
Yeah. So this was another question: do you sprinkle or do you rub it in your rubs? I said it's called a rub for a reason.
Yeah,
you know, it's not a sprinkle; it's a rub. So
yeah, I mean,
get your hands in there, get dirty, rub it down.
Sprinkle. I mean,
Like,
more of
like
like a
people
seasoning.
do,
yeah,
like,
like a
you know,
seasoning, I guess.
You see a lot of people up there just dusting it. You know what I mean? And I
No.
guess you could do that. But like I like to press it in a little bit.
Mhm.
You know, kind of work it in. You know, get dirty.
Yeah, make sure it sticks. I mean, I don't want it like a bunch of it coming off on my grates.
Mm-hmm. Then you're just paying for it.
Yeah, right.
You know, it to go at the bottom of the grill or in
Yeah.
the pan or whatever that you're. And you know, nowadays, you know, sometimes rub's not cheap. You know what I mean?
It's not. Yeah.
Ingredients.
Yeah. Man.
So yeah, so I think the binder thing, man, it's kind of a personal preference if you feel comfortable doing it. You know, all the research and things that we've tried to look up, it doesn't really add too much to it. You know, as far as like the actual process of baking and cooking or smoking, you know, you might get some different flavor profiles depending on what you're using. But like the actual process itself, I don't think there's enough evidence out there to suggest that a binder really enhances the cook.
Or breaks it down enough to where, I mean, it's not going to tenderize it all the way through, right? Like you're going to get like that top layer and like kind of, it's going to penetrate the meat like a little bit, but it's not going to definitely go like, especially if you're doing like a brisket or you know, even like a chuck roast, like you're going to get kind of like that top, maybe like 1/4 of an inch or something like that, if that.
Yeah. And we always talk about let the meat be the star of the show.
Yeah.
The less you can put on there, the better.
You're paying enough for the meat, man.
Right.
Let that ride.
Yeah. So keep it simple. But if you want to use a binder, go for it. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But again, at the same point, I don't think there's too much added benefit to using one. If you feel differently, let us know. Shoot us a message or a comment or something like that.
Dude, I always love hearing like what people use as a binder.
Yeah.
You know, like I think that's like just what was that dude? Like that one guy, man. He used it's like cherry like jam or jelly or something like that. Remember on like the ribs, like that's what he used for his binder.
Yeah. Chutney.
Wasn't it chutney?
No,
I don't remember.
No, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like there's so much cool stuff out there that people use, and like I always ask, like, well, what made you choose that?
Yeah.
And like, why do you stick with that? And they feel like, and like the answer is like, oh, for the flavor profile and stuff.
Yeah.
So they feel like it's making a difference, like enough
for the flavor. Yeah.
In order to keep that going and stuff. So
I can see that. Like cherry is kind of a stronger flavor, and you know, if you rub it down, like especially like a cherry glaze or something, you're gonna get a little caramelization from it too, I think.
Yeah, but that's different. Like a glaze is, you know, you're glazing it towards the end, not like using it as like a binder.
Yeah.
I mean, I would imagine like that would just burn like crazy.
Yeah, I guess if you're going real low and slow though, but
sure.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean we definitely learn and you know from people that we talk to, and so we know there's a lot of different ways out there. There's not just one way to do it. So, and we appreciate that about the barbecue world. Everybody's got a little bit of different take on it. So it gives us ideas and inspiration. So there's not one way to do things. This is just kind of our opinion, I guess you could say.
And even like you and I we do things a lot differently too.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's kind of like the cool part. And like I always go home like, man, I talk to my family like, dude, Greg did this. Like, isn't that crazy? He's an animal.
What
an animal.
What an idiot.
Hey, listen to this. Everyone gather around.
Oh, this jerk did.
Story time. Greg did this. Listen.
Good to know. But so I got another question though. Wood chips, man. So people that are doing wood chips, you know, that to soak or not to soak.
All right, man. So,
this is one of those never-ending, I guess you could say, debates. Do you soak your wood chips before you put them on, or do you just throw your wood chips dry on your coals or your fire or whatever?
Dude, so I went in. We talked for what, like maybe 20, 25 minutes yesterday, real quick and stuff. And like after I hung up the phone with you, I went down into the basement. I was there for a good like probably 2 hours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just like going through books, just going through my books and stuff, and like I pulled out almost like everything, just like clean the shelf off and stuff, and like I really didn't find a ton. Like I got a ton on people using different wood chips and stuff like that, their perspectives on it, stuff, right? Like Myron Mixon's using like more like fruit woods because he's down in Georgia. He's like he loves the peach wood and it's readily available, right? Like we don't
get that much.
We don't have that much.
It's hard to find here.
Yep. And then then you get into Texas and it's more like kind of oak and hickory.
Post oak,
and like Aaron Franklin and stuff like that's what he uses. Is he goes like heavy on that because that's again like kind of what they can get and stuff and like it kind of depends like what you're cooking again and then but like man like these guys are all there's some of them like Aaron Franklin he's using like whole logs.
I mean they're
stuff,
doing
right like
big like cooks because of their restaurants like all day long.
Same like Rodney Scott and stuff too. Like so see like a ton of it like I didn't see a whole lot on soaking. But again, these guys aren't using like a 22-inch Weber.
So I think we're kind of thinking about the folks in the backyard like that are like maybe got charcoal, maybe even using a propane or something and you're using like a makeshift smoker tube or something like that.
Yeah, man. And so obviously I mean where did you first read about like soaking chips?
So it was. I actually didn't read. It was like when I was watching Primal Grilling with Steven Reichlin on PBS.
Our good friend,
our best friend. 15 years ago, I mean, he always soaked his wood chips before he threw them on because like that whole Primal Grilling, like it's based around like a Weber charcoal grill. So like he would use that in almost every episode, something similar, and then like he would always soak his wood chips and throw them on. Then that's how I started, like because that he did it, so that's
that's
how
good enough
I
for
did.
Steve. It's good enough for me.
Yeah, that's what I always say.
Man, so like I said, dude, I dove in, and this is Steven Reichlin's book, Project Smoke. Yeah. So you and I both kind of read this quite a bit and stuff, but like he's got a whole thing in here on like kind of to soak or not to soak, and I'll be like. He says at the end, right? Like, this is specifically wood chips.
Wood chips.
Yep. With the chunks, he literally says right here, like, I don't bother.
Right. Yeah. Chunks. Okay. Don't soak the chunks.
Yeah.
I guess I don't want to say don't do it, but like, you don't have to. Right. So.
Right. So his biggest thing too is like it allows like that combustion process to slow down. So it's not like when you're throwing the chips in, obviously they're very small and they'll catch fire very quickly.
They catch fire right away.
And then it's like with this, like you'll kind of get more of like that smoldering effect, kind of that nice and slow burn. It kind of calms down like that process of them just catching right away and then just you're smoking it out.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So that's really like his biggest reasoning is kind of like a slower, steadier burn, like soak the chips. And he recommends for a half hour.
Half hour. Yep. I remember that. And so, I mean, that's how I started doing it. That I would just do it that way. And then eventually I stopped because, it's just an added process. And then, when you're doing cooks in the backyard, I'm probably out there just throwing handfuls of chips on there because, I got a bunch, man. Like the kids always give me like 2 or 3 bags for their Father's Day. So like I probably got some in there like enough to last me for a few years. So I don't.
What a problem.
I know. Yeah. I'm bragging here with my wood chip rich. So I stopped soaking them, but like, again, like I might go back to it because that's how I started. And like, I never had an issue but then the whole debate came in, well, you're just steaming the meat or you're just steaming but like at a certain point, like you're not steaming, like the moisture's releasing so slow, like you're not going to see the effects of that. You know what I mean? So, and I never had a bad smoke cook when I was throwing like wet wood chips on. So, I mean, again, it was one of those things where I think it's up for personal preference, but the other guest that was on, Neil, he had very strong feelings about not soaking wood chips.
Is he using chips or is he doing chunks or full logs? I mean, he's down in Arkansas.
Yeah, so he does. He does some catering, so I didn't get a good grasp on like what he was using for that. But he talked a lot about ceramics, so we did have a Kamado Joe. Okay. That he talked a lot about.
He's doing catering on that?
No, I don't think he's doing catering on that. But like that was the one I know he was using like for a long time. I don't know exactly what he was using for like larger catering, so I can't speak to what he was using. But he was very against soaking the chips. So, and that's why it came up. This question came up: should I soak or not soak? And I put it out there like that's how I started because of the recipes I watched, and saw, and then I kind of moved away from it. And then things I've learned along the way is like, there tends to be this debate about the steam from the wood chips, if you soak them, tends to have like a steaming effect within the cavity of the grill or whatever. So there's that whole debate going on, and either way, I think like, is it going to make that big of a difference in the backyard? I don't think so.
Yeah, man. I mean, I went on to Steve's website and stuff too.
Yeah,
and he had like a whole Q&A out there on it, and you had people kind of throwing in their perspectives, and I'd say like majority of them kind of lean towards not soaking. And it seemed like a ton of backyard guys, kind of from what I could tell by their comments and stuff. And like one that really kind of stood out, like his reasoning for it and stuff was more so on, if you adjust your vents correctly, you're not going to get as like much oxygen flow. So that's going to kind of tamper or kind of tone down the amount of oxygen that's hitting those wood chips, causing like the fire to flare and all that. Right. So it's like, if you're cooking with your lid off and stuff like that, thing's just going to be rolling. So if you're kind of choking out that oxygen a little bit more, like playing with your vents, like you're going to get like that nice kind of slower burn as well. And that was kind of his reasons for not soaking. Like, well, I'll just adjust my vents and that'll kind of take care of that problem for me.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I was like, all right, cool. I can get on board with that.
I can understand that. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, again, we'll go back to this book too. Meathead. And it's like, it's, the science of great barbecue and grilling and stuff. So right here, dude, like he's got like soaked wood chips and chunks for the most smoke. And then it says like busted. Yeah. So, he's going into, he is doing like chunks and stuff too. But he's basically saying like let's see, wet wood will not rise much over 212 degrees until the water steams off. Right. So it's kind of along like those same lines, right? Like it's prolonging like that burn process, right? Yeah. Which again, if they're wet,
of course, yeah,
that
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, like he just kind of goes into a little bit of the science behind it and stuff. Like, so there's a good reason not to soak your wood. If you toss dripping wet wood onto your hot coals, the water on the surface of the wood cools off the coals. The key to good outdoor cooking is to hit a target temperature and hold it there.
I get it. Yeah. Yeah, and that book that you have there, that's a great resource, the Meathead book, where he goes into the science of barbecuing and grilling. So if you're looking to learn more and kind of, I guess, dive deeper into some of these debatable topics, he does a good job of testing and explaining.
They test it hard. And it's not just like, well, we tested this out once or twice. Like, we in the backyard, I tried this and then I tried this and I like this one better. This seemed to work.
No, there's no science behind it. It was just kind of guesswork.
Yeah, he dives into it and stuff. And like I said, I mean, it's like a whole page on soaking versus not soaking and stuff like that. So, check it out.
Yeah, it was good. And then those are some good topics to talk about. But one of the questions I got, and I want to know your answer to it, is like,
here we go.
What is your let's see, how did they phrase it? Kind of maybe most indulgent thing that you like to cook.
Most indulgent?
Yeah, like what's your secret, like kind of like your pleasure dish that you like to cook?
Oh, dude. Honestly, dude, like probably like flatbread, like buffalo chicken pizzas. Man, I just love it.
Yeah,
I do. Like my wife and kids love it. It's a good time. Which is a teaser, Greg, for our next episode.
Ooh!
The next episode we have
a teaser. We call that. That's what we call in the business. Teaser.
Yeah. But honestly, like, I mean, we've talked about this before. I'm a big fan. I kind of like I love wings.
Yeah, you do.
I do love some wings. And this is kind of like you get like kind of that's the wing flavor and stuff like on a buffalo chicken, like pizza. It's like, man, pizza good, wings good. Yeah. Why not?
Oh yeah. Did you do it on a plank?
No, I don't. I haven't, but now I will. Now I will. And so it's funny too, man, because like we had a chance to talk to
Dina,
Ian, and we'll be posting that interview next week. But she cooks she has multiple cookbooks and she does everything like on a plank.
Like a cedar plank.
So like when you talked to me about this yesterday, right? Like instantly, that's kind of where my mind went. It's like, well, she soaks her planks. She soaks the planks, but she's also cooking the food directly on top.
Right.
So she's doing that obviously for multiple reasons and stuff. And we'll get into that.
She doesn't want it to burn.
she doesn't want it to burn, but
Yeah.
you're still gonna get some of that smoke flavor
Yeah,
in the wood,
yeah.
that profile
Mhm.
from the plank and stuff. So I was like, man, so how she does it, you know, I don't.
So,
It's just cool, man.
yeah,
It's just again, everyone you can have your own way and stuff, and
yeah, that's why you gotta
I
test
dig it.
things out, what you like and what you don't like.
Sure.
You know, everybody's different. You know,
Mhm.
you know, dependent. You know, the science might tell you one thing, but like your flavor, like your taste buds, be like, I don't care.
Yeah.
because this is
Yeah.
what I like.
I don't give
you
a
know,
damn. This is awesome. Yeah.
So that's good, man. That's cool.
But what about you? So how did you answer that question?
I said mac and cheese,
Oh,
like a
okay.
good smoked mac and cheese.
Or
You know?
like chocolate chip cookies or something, you know,
No.
donuts.
What do you think I am? What are you
Animal.
talking?
Savage.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, let's. I think that's a good episode here. We'll end that there. A lot of good information. So it was a good conversation. A lot of good stuff. A lot of like the science behind the art. So those are some good questions from people that might be starting out. So if you're just starting out, or if hopefully you learn something new.
I think the point is too, like, just get out and play.
Yeah.
Literally just get out and play.
And like again, don't be so close-minded.
Yeah.
Like I feel in the biz,
Here we go.
that there might be some folks out there that are completely closed-minded that don't, try
Mhm.
new things or aren't open to new
Right.
things. They're
This
like, this is the way it is. This is what I do, and like I'm not open to any other variations, and I'm just gonna be a snob about it.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think we're kind of the opposite of that. Is we have our ways, we have our things that we like to do, and we try and educate at the same time. Like,
But man, the minute we hear about like someone
Something
trying
different,
like
yeah.
a new techniques, like hell yeah, let's
Yeah.
go test that
yeah,
out.
let's try it first.
Give that a shot and then see, and then
Yeah.
we'll talk about it.
Yeah, and
So.
if it does, we don't like it, we'll just say we don't like it. But yeah, go try it yourself.
Yeah.
You might like
Here's what we found.
Yeah. So I think that's the cool part about it. But all right, man. Well, Memorial Day is coming up, so we want to just again, say, it's a time to get out and spend, hopefully getting a chance to cook for your family and your loved ones, but then also to like pause, remember, and honor those that come before us and have paid the ultimate sacrifice. So that's a little bit more about what I'll be talking about on Memorial Day, and living with courage and compassion and with purpose for those that can't. So we want to say thank you to those that continue to listen and support us, and hopefully get a chance to get out and celebrate the holiday. Don't just mourn, but celebrate and be thankful for what we have here.
Yeah, and I'll be honest too, like, we all know everyone kind of celebrates this differently, and so just kind of keep that in mind. But it's definitely a day too to reach out to those that are still around and like to give kind of thanks for them and what they've done, and just let them know you appreciate them being here. Everyone has their demons, we don't always know what they are and stuff, and just, man, like a simple quick 30-second text like, hey, it's been a while,
Yeah.
hope you're doing well, and
Yeah.
just kind of reconnect with maybe some of those that you haven't talked to in a bit, and just
Yeah, and if you have lost somebody, take an opportunity to tell a story about them. I always find that like the most rewarding part is when I meet somebody, and I know they've lost somebody, is just to learn more about that person, not just their service, but like who they are as a person. Like, what do they like? What did they enjoy doing? What were their hobbies outside of the military and things like that? So, I always love learning about folks like that. So, but again, we appreciate. Hopefully, get a chance to get out and grill, and then also, just take some time. All right, man. I think that's it.
all right, take it easy.
All right, cheers.